So this video relates to a certain kind of mathematics that I experienced when I went through some issues recently, and it relates to the chakras, but it has a lot of elements of faith connected to it, or that's how I came about experiencing what this math is all about. So physiologically, again, if you think of the chakras, they also represent, you can represent them as numbers, with one sort of being the root, 2 the navel, 3 the solar plexus, 4 the heart, 5 the throat, and 6 vision, the forehead. And if you're familiar with spiral dynamics comes in on the 5th chakra. It comes in through communication, although in it you have beige and purple and red. Those are fractal representations of lower parts. So in other words, beige is within the 5th domain, the throat domain, the communicative domain. It's 5-1. So it's based on survival, so it's communication related primarily to survival. 5-2 is communication primarily related to vitality or magic. 5-3 is communication primarily related to power. 5-4, communication primarily linked to heart or imagination or sort of love. 5-5 is communication related to creation of industrial things. Communication related to creativity. And then 5-6 is creativity related to vision or interconnectivity. You can also look at them as, from 5-3 you have subjectivity, intersubjectivity, objectivity, interobjectivity, and that repeats itself. So within the second tier, we're at the 6th chakra, and then yellow is 6-1, turquoise 6-2, coral 6-3, indigo 6-4. But even before these, we can go back before spiral dynamics. The one step prior to it is mammalian development, and so you have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in relation to intersubjectivity, the heart center, interconnectivity, emotion, dreaming. Mammals dream, they show a capacity to reflect, and so it's related to love in the sense of the creation of love. And so all the mammals that have a limbic system seem to have this capacity, so it's 4. 3 is reptilian, the development of the reptilian brainstem is related to power, so it's the creation of power over, domination over. And so with that, and we transcend and include these different elements in our body. Our body-mind has a reptilian brainstem, a limbic system, neocortex, which is allowing for the 5 communication capacities. And then when you get down to 2, we're looking at vitality, I believe, which is life before capacity to react. See, 3 is reaction for self, and it's in the now. It doesn't sleep in the sense that it has a dream. When it sleeps, it goes into a hypnagogic state. So it's geared completely narcissistic, pretty much for itself. It still goes through the fractal, so it still has a 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6, and then what's beyond this, I don't know. This math is only working with 6, but it does allow for numbers beyond 6. It's just that the primary focus of this math is contained within itself, within a pattern of 6. To box it in at just 6, however, I believe is not full. It doesn't fully account for everything. So you still need 7, 8, 9, etc. But it's a level of self-contained nature that explains a certain context of ideas. So yeah, 2 is related to vitality. 1 is related to survival in the sense of being over nothingness. So matter exists, um, and nothingness doesn't exist. So it's existent. So 1 is the ground from which everything comes. It's the root. Everything comes from matter. 2 it has a duality to it. It has a vitality to it. And when 2 come together, they create another 1. And so it's the joining, the sexual union of 2-ness. And 3 is sort of the triad, the Trinity, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost. And the 3 are needed to create power. You need a unity of duality, which is guided by a higher order that recognizes that duality to keep everything in a proper power cycle, reaction over, something along those lines. Maybe not perfectly explained. And then 4 is related to perhaps the quadrant system. And I think this is, sometimes the heart is pictured as a square in spiritual circles. It's an open space for all of this to arise in intersubjectively. I think that subjectivity is connected with 3, where you have an individual self that's in relation to other, but in this space you have a capacity to recognize other emotionally if you're a mammal. So you have now included 4 different systems, and then with humans we open up a 5th system, and that allows us to be objective about the world. So it has those 3 of subjectivity, intersubjectivity, objectivity, as well as vitality and survival. So it includes all of those simultaneously. And then the 6th includes all 5 of those, plus a capacity to integrate objectivity. So it's interobjective. It recognizes paradigms of objective patterns and synthesizes them at higher and higher levels. So yellow, or 6-1, is looking at essentially a paradigm that allows for survival. So you inter-objectify our global system or global ideas to create a way of thinking that will allow for survival. 6-2 will do that for more magical purposes, more vital purposes, and that's not just for survival, it's to make things vital, to make it lively. You want a paradigm that includes everything in a lively way. 6-3 is about how you would orient that whole paradigm to properly maintain, in a visionary sense, the power structure. So geopolitically, something along those lines. 6-4, you're looking at how you would maintain meta theories to ensure love is ever present within the context of these different systems, and meaning is always flowing from it, so that when you present images and present ideas, these things carry with them interconnections between other systems of ideas, and with it a sense of meaning and purpose that flows from it, that would resonate with all levels of development. And 6-5, maybe Vermilion, would do the same thing with communication. And so it's recognizing on a planetary level how we would orient ourselves in a technological sense to ensure creativity. It's a little bit vague, but I think you get the picture. Be well.